Today, we're going to discuss conversation strategy. This is how we're going to turn leads into clients, okay? And we're going to break down the 4 key elements of the conversation that you need to be able to navigate in order to book calls. So this is something that's done really poorly. And when I work with clients all the time, this is one of the things that they struggle to wrap their head around, which actually blows my mind, because if you're an in-person personal trainer, this is something that you actually do on a daily basis. But when people get into doing it on the phones, they get all weird and then they don't know what they're saying, okay? So mapping out an actual conversation strategy, while you would think it's actually maybe not something that people would need to be taught, from my experience, it's something that makes or breaks people's businesses. They can create content, they can get leads, they can get people like engaging with the stuff, but they can't actually convert them into sales calls, and therefore they don't get any clients. And they start then going around all these other bullshit things about doing webinars and challenges and all this shit, when really, if they just got good at speaking to people, they wouldn't need to do any of that. And if you do get really fucking good at it, you can teach someone else to do it on your behalf. And then you scale out the business, live the life, put your feet up, do whatever you want. Okay, so I'm gonna break down conversation strategy here, and I'm gonna map it out into the different areas that you need. Okay, so step 1 is the intro. This is where people really struggle, okay? They don't know what to say, they don't know how to engage with people, and it actually becomes a massive mindset issue of people like getting conversations started. So when you are a fitness coach, one of the things that you don't have the luxury of is understanding whether somebody's a lead or not. So like for me, I coach fitness coaches, which means that I can just go on someone's profile, and if it says they're a fitness coach, chances are they're going to be responsive to my message. As a personal trainer, it's really fucking weird for you to just like randomly message people saying, hey, you're looking to lose weight. People don't take that very kindly in 2025, so it's something that I would advise against. The best way to start generating this kind of stuff is by getting people to raise their hand. And by raise their hand, I mean do something within your content to get them to indicate that they are looking for help. All right, it's one of the easiest ways to actually get conversation started, instead of just randomly messaging people hoping that they need a personal trainer, because funny enough, some people get offended. So the first thing I would always do is make sure that I've got content based out every single week that gets people to go, hey, I'm the person you're looking for, I'm looking for help with this. Whether it's an ebook, a guide, anything along those lines, a free program, a recipe, whatever it is to get people to go, hey, I'm looking for things to make me healthier, things to help me lose weight, anything in that realm. So you want to get as much of that across as possible in your content plan. So your intro then becomes very simple, okay? You don't need to mess around with, oh, I like the look of your dog, or hey, how's your car? All right, you don't need to play any of that games. You can just get straight into the stuff that's helping them with their weight loss. So the intro part of it is literally just an intro. It's like, hey, thanks for asking for the thing. Do you mind if I just ask you a couple of questions to make sure that this is the right thing to send you? Other variations of that can be things like, hey, I've actually got loads more resources. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions to find out if there's anything else that I have that I can give you? Okay, so you go in and offering more help. And that is the easiest way to get an intro to a prospect, is just to get them to actually reach out to you first by asking for a free resource. Okay, so step 2, we then want to find out what their goals are. Second thing you need to get into is goals, okay? So from there you need to go, all right, so the first thing I'd really need to know is, what's the actual goal that you're trying to achieve? Are you trying to lose fat? Are you trying to build muscle? Are you trying to get faster? Are you trying to get stronger? What is it? Obviously, if you're talking to them, you say that. If you're typing it out, you just say, hey, what's the biggest goal that you're working towards with your health and fitness right now? They're going to come back and they're either going to say, okay, I'm looking to lose weight, I'm looking to gain muscle, blah, 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 whatever the goal is, okay? Now, the main thing that you need to make sure you do here is in between each one of these messages, okay, you need to acknowledge the message before of something that they've said. So when they say, hey, you know, I'm looking to lose weight, one thing that I would always do within this is I would drill down on specifics. So I would say, okay, that's great. How much weight are you looking to actually lose? It doesn't matter, but you'll get an idea of like how big their need is. So if they say, oh, I'm only looking to lose 1 to 2 pounds, they're not really the best lead in the world. If they're saying, look, I'm looking to lose like 20 pounds, then that's something that's very useful for you to know, okay? Because these people are going to be people that are actually going to turn into good clients, okay? The other thing that you can then ask, and this is why I'm not giving you an exact script, because you need to be able to navigate these questions properly. So the next thing I'm going to be looking at is if they say 20 pounds, I'm going to be like, okay, cool. £20 is a great goal. How long are you looking at to lose that? Is it a year? Is it 3 months? Like, what does that look like? And again, you can either voice note this, or, you know, if you want to write it, just keep it a little bit more succinct. So you say something like, okay, cool. And what's the time frame to lose that £20? Then you're going to get an idea of what their need is or how active they are in getting help in this. If they say, you know, maybe just something over the next couple of years, not that big of a goal for them. If they're saying, I need to lose this £20 in the next 4 months because I've got a holiday I'm going on, then you know there's a bigger need, okay? And that's indicating that they're somebody that potentially we could take on as a client, okay? So goals, I want to know the actual goal itself, but I also want to know time frame. Okay, that's really important as part of the goal situation. The third part, okay, then is the problems. So after I know the goals and I know where they're up to, I then want to find out why they're not just doing it on their own, okay? And the thing I'm going to ask here is, okay, cool, those goals are great. In your opinion, what's the biggest thing that's stopping you from achieving those goals right now? Okay, key thing is there, in your opinion, all right? Because I want them to tell me what they think it is, while still kind of understanding that they might not really know the answer. So in your opinion, what's the biggest thing holding you back from achieving those goals right now? And I'm going to collect all of that information. I'm going to probe a little bit if I need to probe. If they give me something that's dead surface level, like, oh, my diet, I'm going to say, oh, what specifically about your diet do you think is a struggle? You could even go as far as giving them some suggestions, you know, so, okay, what part of your diet are you struggling with? Is it eating out? So you can use then common things that your needs struggle with to kind of prompt them into opening up a little bit. But most times the second question is usually the best one. So you'll say, what's the biggest thing holding you back right now? They'll usually say something like diet or training, or I just can't stick to it. And then you say, okay, what specific part of that can't you do? So what specific part of your diet are you struggling with? Or when specifically are you struggling to stick to a plan? So you want the true problem, not just the surface level one that they give you. Okay, so you're going to probably ask 1 or 2 questions within this to probe a little bit more. All right, the next thing you're then going to do is move from understanding the problems into offering help. Okay, so when we're offering help, what we're going to do is say, look, based on the goals that you've got and based on the problems that you've just told me that you have, obviously you've probed that, so you'll be able to personalize that message to something that they've actually said. This training PDF, guide, recipe book, whatever it is, obviously might help a little bit, but it's not really going to be the thing that helps you lose 20 pounds in the next 3 months. However, my coaching program could do that. Have you ever had a coach before? Or you could say, are you open to getting help? If they go, no, not for me, not really interested at all, then you obviously move on to your next lead. They may say, yeah, but I'm not quite sure how it all works, blah, 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 whatever that looks like. So if you get a negative response, just say, cool, no worries, there's the guide, and you move on. If you get a positive response, then you're going to obviously want to move them on to booking a call. So stage 4 is offer help, and then stage 5 is offer call. Now, this is the final bit of it, and I don't carry this as part of the conversation because it's fairly straightforward, okay? So they indicate that, yeah, I'll be open to having some help with that. You say, cool. Next step from here is obviously we can book in a proper chat, dig into your goals a little bit more, dig into your problems a little bit more, so we can come up with a really customized plan of how you can lose this 20 pounds in the next 3 months. If it's then something that you want to go ahead with because you like the sound of it, then great, we can move forward. If not, no problems, at least you'll leave with a plan. If they've got this far in the conversation, usually around 60% of the people will just go, yep, I'm ready to book a call. You send them the link sent. And the final thing you want to do at this part of the conversation is go, okay, cool. So once you book that, just let me know. I'll double check it on my end and I can confirm it for you. And that's the final part. So look, these are the key elements: the intro, the goals, the problems, and the offer. Everything else after these first 4 areas is just logistics and getting it all sorted. So this is the process that I would use. So if I was getting people onto my Instagram or onto any social media profile, I'd be looking at giving them resources, getting hand raisers through polls, engagement, free lead magnets, whatever that looks like, okay? And then I'm gonna wanna work through this 4-step framework to get them to agree to having a call with me. And then I'm just gonna get the call booked with the last couple of points. Hopefully that was useful. If you want a full training breakdown, so I appreciate I breezed over this in like 10-15 minutes, but if you want an individual breakdown of different questions and different prompts, different things that you can ask at each part of this process, I do all of that in my free academy, okay? So if you want to get access to the free academy, all you need to do, there'll be a link in the description below. Click that, get access to the academy. You can dive into all of this in more detail, start applying it into your business from tomorrow, okay? Hopefully that was helpful. Remember, if this has helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.